2026 just started. We're full of new hopes in the new year, waiting to see what it brings us to keep our hands busy smashing buttons on the controller.
And somehow, despite all those hopes, the backlog is still very much alive. I love how every year we pretend this is the one where we finally finish our games.
We won't. So today, we're doing the only reasonable thing.
Adding more games to the list.
At least we'll talk about the new ones we're waiting for. The most awaited games of 2026. Some are confirmed, some are delayed.
And some exist purely on faith.
Before we start, quick note. We're covering different types of games today, and not all of them are for everyone. Some players don't touch free-to-play at all, and that's totally fine.
So feel free to use timestamps and jump straight to the section where you feel most comfortable.
And now let's start with the most awaited free-to-play games. Because nothing says new year like optimism mixed with endless resource grinding. These titles alone can easily fill your entire year, so be ready and clear some space on your PC, mobile, or PS5.
The first one drops on January 22nd, already well known thanks to tons of beta test videos. At this point, it almost feels like it's not a new game anymore. Arknight's Infield promises a big world, zip lines, high expectations, but remember, you still can't swim.
Wow, that's right. Nobody tricks us anymore. The main enemy is water.
Next is 7 Deadly Sins Origin. Another anime game enters the arena. Open world, expanded exploration, dynamic combat, free time activities, and multiplayer elements.
That sounds very generic. Half of F2P games fit that description.
Maybe, but we'll play and see. 7 Deadly Sins Origin drops on January 28th.
2 free-to-play games back-to-back. Where do we even find time for both? Alright, I'm taking Arknights. You're on 7 Deadly Sins.
Deal. January is packed, and next one doesn't have an exact date, just sometime in 2026. For all collectors, evolution masters, and competitive trainers, Pokémon Champions aims to become the main digital platform for championships and tournaments.
Wait, so this is PvP for Pokémon players? Like competitive TCG, but instead of decks, you bring your trained Pokémon.
We know very little, but that sounds about right. Most likely regular tournaments and maybe even big championships.
It's still hard to imagine how this will actually work. Will it be a full standalone game or just a competitive tournament platform?
There are so many questions and absolutely no clear answers yet. All we can really do is wait.
This could turn out to be something very ambitious or an easy skip. Everything depends on what the developers are really preparing for us.
The next two also don't have specific dates. Both were already nicknamed by fans as Anime GTA, Neverness to Everness, and Ananta. Urban fantasy open worlds with different settings and mechanics, but both let you drive vehicles and fight on the streets.
All right, chat, pick your side. Which one are you joining? NTE or Ananta? Or maybe both if your wallet survives the hardware upgrade. I expect these games to be demanding.
And last on the list, we have a game that suddenly decided to give us real hope. Silver Palace has officially opened enrollment for beta testing, which means a 2026 release is no longer just a dream we whisper to ourselves at night.
Now you've got my attention.
Gothic atmosphere, steampunk vibes, and strong Victorian-era aesthetics. Silver Palace looks charming, unusual, and just strange enough to stand out. And if you want to sign up for the PC beta, you should probably hurry. The deadline is January 5th.
It finally feels like our patience is paying off. Very soon, YouTube will be flooded with beta footage, first impressions, and breakdowns. And that means we will get real answers about what Silver Palace actually is. Now we're stepping into the dangerous world of indie games. It's so huge that covering everything is impossible. Different budgets, different platforms, different ideas. Some are ambitious, some target a very specific niche, and some quietly surprise everyone.
There are a lot of indie games worth mentioning, but we made a short list of the ones we're personally keeping an eye on. And the first one is my personal most awaited indie. Mina the Hollower. I already talked about this game before. It was supposed to release in October 2025.
This time, the delay actually makes me more confident.
Because the devs still care?
Exactly. It means they want to deliver the best possible experience.
Yacht Club Games, take your time. We can wait.
Now my personal favorite, Lost Helden. No exact release date yet. The game is a blend of classic JRPG and a modern touch. An immersive 2D world with 3D combat. And just look at the team. Music by Hitoshi Sakimoto. Final Fantasy XII, Tactics Ogre, Valkyria Chronicles. And illustrations by Takeshi Oga. Gravity Rush, Siren.
I've spent way too many hours in all of those games. So yes, I'm already excited.
Artisan Studios set the bar very high. And with that comes very high responsibility.
In 2026, Edge of Eternity is getting a sequel, Edge of Memories. It expands the Edge universe, continues the story, opens new regions to explore, and of course, introduces new systems.
Strong foundation indeed.
You bet.
Look at you, a child playing at greater things.
And we're closing the indie list with another postponed title. A mountain climbing simulator.
Not that one.
Yeah, not the one we all played on the NES. Cairn releases on January 29th. It's a realistic survival climbing simulation. And yes, Noita already talked about it when we were expecting it in 2025.
Just a little more time and we'll finally test how beautifully you can fall from a cliff.
Oh, I will fall, no doubt. Now it's time to raise the scale. We're moving to huge teams, serious publishers, bigger budgets, and much flashier trailers. Let's talk about the big titles we're waiting for in 2026.
Now the heavy hitters.
Code Vein 2 drops on January 30th. Get ready for new ways of pain and traveling through the apocalypse on a very stylish bike.
The first game was, let's say lightly armored. This one has more fashion, sure, but why is that part still not covered?
It's tactical.
Tactical?
Maximum agility. Zero fabric resistance.
Whatever. Next is Animal Crossing New Horizons on Switch 2. Drops on January 15th, 2026. It's not only mouse mode controller support, but also brings new features.
Owners of Animal Crossing Switch version can upgrade by purchasing the upgrade pack.
Fans will not be disappointed.
Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection arrives in March. This time, the series is going darker. A more serious tone, heavier story themes, and a world that feels less like an adventure postcard and more like a place with consequences.
Bigger regions, new monsters, and deeper connections between story and combat.
I've actually never played a Monster Hunter game before, but Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twisted Reflection feels different. It's more about story, characters, and the bond with your monsters. So yeah, this might be the moment I finally step into the Monster Hunter universe.
And you are the sole Rathalos rider.
Pragmata is currently scheduled for release in April.
It's a game that feels like it escaped straight out of a sci-fi concept art book. A lonely space station, ruined environments, and a mysterious android girl following you everywhere.
Wait, she's an android? I honestly didn't follow the news that closely, so that's new to me. I thought she was just a mysterious girl who needs to be saved. But now, I don't know anymore. That changes the whole vibe.
It probably won't be that kind of huge psychological drama like in Detroit, where you constantly question who's human and who's an android. But that's not a bad thing. Pragmata feels more focused on atmosphere, mystery, and the relationship you slowly build through gameplay, not just dialogue choices.
Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave, is planned for release sometime in 2026. As always with Fire Emblem, it focuses on turn-based tactical battles where every move matters and every mistake can cost you a favorite character.
And it's never just about combat. It's also about relationships, choices, and emotional damage you didn't see coming.
You get attached to your units. You make questionable decisions under pressure.
And then you stand by those decisions for the rest of the campaign, whether they were good or not.
So much that simply killing him will not satisfy me.
And then there's Fable.
This one has been in development for a long time. Announced years ago, rebooted expectations, and quietly worked on while everyone kept asking if it still exists. It's being rebuilt as a modern take on the series, with a new engine, a new team, and the pressure of reviving a very beloved name. What we expect is a fantasy world full of choices, consequences, and small personal stories, the kind that mixes heroism with awkward moments, bad decisions, and very human problems.
Most importantly, it has to keep the humor. That slightly absurd, self-aware tone that made Fable feel different from every other fantasy RPG. That's really all we're asking.
Next one is a real cat in the bag. Imagine The Witcher, but not the heroic white wolf we all know. Imagine a Witcher who consumed one potion too many. Turn him into a vampire. Not a full one, but something in between, and place him in a gothic, fictional 14th century kingdom called Vale Sangora, hidden deep in the Carpathian Mountains.
That's actually very accurate. At first glance, Cohen looks like a Witcher, and just look at the surroundings. The world itself feels extremely close to The Witcher.
And that's not a coincidence. The project is led by Konrad Tomaszkiewicz, who previously worked on the Witcher series and Cyberpunk 2077. A significant part of the team also comes from The Witcher, so the DNA is very clear. But the Blood of Dawnwalker is not just copying ideas. It introduces a combat system that changes depending on the time of day. At night, you fight as a vampire, relying on supernatural powers. During the day, you're just a human, surviving with your sword and skills.
So, will there be tough decisions like in The Witcher? Because I hate choosing who deserves to live.
Oh, there will be plenty of that. They promise difficult choices at almost every step, with consequences you'll have to live with.
It really feels like a spiritual successor to The Witcher. If you're tired of waiting for The Witcher 4, or if you love Geralt but aren't fully sold on Ciri as the main character, then the Blood of Dawnwalker might be exactly what you're looking for.
Absolutely. And the best part is, it's currently planned for release in 2026.
How?
I am life. I am death. I am everything in between.
And now it's time to step into a much more dangerous territory. Games that are not confirmed, not dated, and in some cases, barely acknowledged. Let's talk about pure speculation.
This is the part where we lower our expectations, just in case. These games don't have release dates, trailers, or even official confirmation. What they do have is history, rumors, and very high expectations.
Let's start with the big one, The Elder Scrolls 6. Gamers aren't even waiting for a release date anymore. At this point, we're waiting for any new information. We already know the location, Hammerfell, but we need more than that. We need something that tells us the waiting won't take another 7 years.
The stakes here are massive. This game has to follow Skyrim, one of the most influential RPGs ever made. If it's real, it defines the next generation of open-world RPGs.
Next is Final Fantasy IX Remake, the legendary secret project. There's no official announcement, but the rumors just refuse to die. For many fans, this is about preserving the heart of the original, the charm, the fairy tale tone, and the emotional story.
The risk is obvious. Modernize it too much, and you lose what made it special. But if Square Enix gets it right, it could become one of the most beloved remakes they've ever done.
And finally, Persona 6. No trailer, no logo, no official confirmation. Just expectations built on years of Persona 5 success.
Fans are waiting to see how Atlus reinvents the formula again. New setting, new color theme, new social mechanics, and a new cast that has to live up to some very big shoes.
At this point, we're not even asking for a release window. We're just hoping that 2026 is the year Atlus finally gives us something.
So yeah, these games may or may not exist. But the moment any of them gets confirmed, the internet will explode. And until then, all we can do is wait, speculate, and pretend we're being patient.
So that's our look at the most awaited games of 2026. Free-to-play titles that might take over our daily routines. Indie games built on passion and patience. Big-budget projects with enormous expectations. And a few hopeful speculations that we just want to hear something about this year.
Some of these games are almost here. Some are still far away. And some exist only as trailers, rumors, or pure belief.
But that's part of the fun. Waiting, imagining, and slowly realizing that our backlog will never shrink.
So now it's your turn. What game are you waiting for the most in 2026?
What's already on your list? And which announcement would make you stop everything and just watch the trailer?
Let us know in the comments.
And whatever you're waiting for, let's hope 2026 gives us something worth the wait.